Hello everybody, welcome to our Palworld Survival Guide. We are talking about Rooby today. Rooby, who is going into her house for some reason, a little shy I guess, today. So Rooby is a fire type pal, obviously, if you couldn't tell. And kind of like a beginner pal, I would say, just in terms of its abilities and work skills and whatnot. But here it is, our fire type, which means that she is strong against ice and grass types. Love that for the fire types. But they are weak to water types. And then we have our number 9 on our Paldeck. And if you want to, whenever you capture or defeat them in battle, they have a chance of dropping flame organs and leather, which flame organ can be very helpful. I always find myself in need of these, so very, very nice for that. Now, for work skills, literally just one thing that Rooby does, which is kindling at tier 1. So it's very much like your kind of beginner pal who can, cook your food, more or less, and maybe start smelting stuff for you. But definitely you get, like I said, just like your starter pal there. And I would definitely say Rooby is kind of like, you can replace or interchange like Rooby with Foxsparks. They're more or less kind of the same thing. And I think access to like Rooby kind of depends on where you spawn in the game, because, and we'll kind of go into their spawning in a moment here, but they spawn in like specific parts of the map. So if you happen to spawn there at the in the early game, you might find Rooby a better option than Foxsparks, because Foxsparks also has its preferred spawn location. So but the two are very interchangeable, I would say. So that is its work skill. For its partner skill, it's called Tiny Spark, and it says, while in a team, it increases the attack power of fire pals. And that's pretty awesome. Even though this is a kind of like your beginner pal, like this one, it's worth having, I would say, worth kind of sticking around, because it does give your fire pals in your party a boost. So if you're like in a specific fight where you're using a lot of fire pals, maybe keep a Rooby in your pal in your party with you just to boost your other guys. That could be potentially awesome. So that is its partner skill there. It is basically kind of like a passive partner skill. So there's that. And then if you want to breed our Rooby, there you are. There's quite a few combinations. Some of the easier ones to do, I would say, would be a Mao and a Kitsune, a Reshore and a Nox, a Digtoise and a Kativa. You got a Gale Claw and a Floppy, and then a Dire Howl and a Tansy. Those are some of the options. There's much more out there, but those are a little bit easier. Some of the kind of like beginner and mid-tier pals that, are easier to grab, and then you can breed if you want, but, it's up to you. Also, adorable little bow tie, I just realized that. How fancy Rooby is. So if you want to capture this, however, out in the wild, it spawns in kind of like these 3 major regions, a little slip right there too, but basically the Marsh Island, that's where I tend to get a lot of them, and where I find them, which is this kind of area here. You have the Sea Breeze Archipelago right there where you can find some. The Verdant Brook right here, just like a little bit right there, and they also spawn on the Forgotten Island. So there's kind of like the main regions where you can find these guys, which, go for it, I guess. So if you want to get a Rooby, I would say really its main use, like obviously a starter pal, right? But mostly a support role. So anytime like I said, you're doing like an alpha boss battle or a dungeon battle or a tower battle, whatever it is. If it has, if it's a grass or ice type, and you're bringing in a bunch of fire pals, bring in Rooby too, just to give your guys extra support. And I like she's just walking in a circle. It's a good time. But that is about it. Let me know if you guys are fans of Rooby, and if you are, how you like to use them. But thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep surviving and keep thriving.